And we are live. Yes. How are we all doing? Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. I hope you can. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Do let me know, of course, if it's not the case. Let me just get that going live now. There we go. Yeah. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. How are we all doing? Short video guru, how are we, mate? We've got Mogzilla. Happy New Year, Dave. Yeah, Happy New Year to you and everyone else that's watching. Great to have you here. Best wishes for 2026. Yes, mate. And Nick, how are we doing? Yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. It's great to be back. Obviously, we haven't been on a stream for a good minute, innit? It's a good while. It's a good couple of weeks since the Christmas Eve was my last stream on it before obviously we finished. Just let me retweet something. There we go. Right, there we go. So yeah, obviously it's been probably almost 2 weeks, I'd imagine. Almost 2 weeks. Let me get the stream back up. So you will notice that the setup is a bit different. Now the setup will be changing again very, very soon. Basically, just some work going on in my house, which means I can't be there at the moment. But that's finishing on Wednesday, so then I'll be moving my stream into my my garage, and then we'll be rocking. So yeah, the stream will change again very soon, and then we'll be in our permanent setup. So obviously, I can see you all up there. I can't. It's difficult, obviously, for where I put the camera in with the room that I'm in. I'm not really sure where to put it. Maybe I could put it there. Maybe I could even put it there, to be fair. What I'll do, let me just try and move this. Because I could probably put the camera in a better spot. Maybe. Let me just see. If I move that onto here. Let me see if I can take you guys with me and put you in a better spot. You got a close up on my face. Right, let's drop you down there. Let's see. That will probably do round about there. Let me just tighten that up. Right, let's see how we're doing with this. How's that? Would that be any better? That's a little bit better, in it, I suppose. Is it? A little bit better. Is it a little bit better? I don't know. No, it's not ideal, is it? I think probably what we'll do is we'll leave it where it was for now. Let's say it's only a few streams, and then we'll be in my permanent residence then for streaming. So yeah, it's better there. It's better lighting as well. Do let me know if you can hear me okay. Just let me know. Can you hear me okay? Is the sound coming through okay? Let me know in the chat. It would be a massive help if you can. Let me start the poll. There we go. Got the poll going. Yeah, let me know. Can you hear me okay? Is the volume coming through okay? Yeah, I'm excited for what this year holds. Now let me get Stonksy up there. Bang, there we go. So Stonksy's now up on that. And we are riding the long, aren't we, from 87,800. That is currently what we are. 5.5% move, maybe 6%, obviously up towards 93k plus for where it has been. So that's good. Do let me know. Can you hear me okay? No one's saying anything in the chat, so I'm a bit worried that you guys can't hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. But yeah, that's obviously where we're up to for now. We've had a great push since the start of the year. If we actually look on the daily, let's go and have a look on the daily. We are pushing. We've had a good 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be 5 green days in a row. and we haven't seen that. I mean, when was the last time we got 5 green days in a row? Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 6 there. So the last time we got 5 green days in a row was actually when we went to all-time highs. Because we got 4 here. We got 4 there, not quite 5. This was actually the last time, early October. So, 3 months ago was the last time that we got 5 green days in a row. So a good long time since we've had an upward streak like this. And when you actually do zoom out to the daily, it looks very, very good, doesn't it, to potentially come and certainly clear out these highs maybe. This is obviously something that we were looking at before Christmas, wasn't it? Was these highs in waiting up here, basically. And who's to say we can't have an explosive start to the year and maybe even push up back towards 100 and then ultimately for a good KSR test around 107.5. That is definitely on the cards. So definitely something to keep an eye out on is this strength. We saw it. When was the last time we saw strength like this? I'm thinking the last time we saw strength like this was 2023, to start the year. Like new year bang and then just straight away. Let's go and have a look. So start of 2025, we was in sideways, weren't we? This was mid-January. Now, to be fair, yeah. No, we started the year well in 2025. Got this push up initially all the way to the 6th, and then 7th we dropped off and then pushed again towards late January. Then what did we do in 2024? I can't quite remember. In the January. Yeah, this one was kind of a push up on it, more in towards obviously that ETF rollout, and then 2023 was of course the good one when we just got this curl up. Now this obviously started here slowly, and then picked up pace, didn't it, all the way to there. That was a good, basically whole month of upside action. So it begs the question, we've had a good start to 2023. We had a good start to 2024. We had a great start to 2025. Are we just keeping it in theme? For now we are, aren't we? For the first 5 days, we're keeping it in the theme of good, strong starts for the start of the year. And then, moving into mid-January, late January, we'll see what we get. But yeah, certainly at the moment, this is a great run by Bitcoin. First 5 days in a row since we made the all-time high, and then kicking off the year as we did in 2023, 2024, and 2025 with upside action. So overall, very nice. And you can see MSTR here, 157. Now, pre-market is 163. I need to put something on this scale. So that's up pre-market. Coinbase up pre-market. So yeah, crypto stocks obviously doing what you'd expect. Now the others that are obviously performing quite well are following suit. Your Solana up nicely, ETH up quite nicely since the start of the year. But the major moves has been coming over in meme coins, hasn't it? Has anyone been trading meme coins? Do let me know what you've been doing. Happy New Year. Great to have you back, mate. Yeah, it's great to be back. Like I was saying at the start of the stream, Steve-O. I think it was around 2 weeks-ish since we last streamed. So it was Christmas Eve, which was the Tuesday, wasn't it? So yeah, 2 weeks ago was when we last streamed. So yeah, we'll keep in theme of it anyway. But yeah, great to be back, mate. It's great to be back, and of course, it makes it nice coming back to having such a good start to the year on a lot of Bitcoin, ETH, Sol. But yeah, I mean, the main performers have been over in meme coins, and especially if we scale down to the 1 hour, you can see that Stonksy has hit some big hitters. Stonksy's been hitting some big hitters on the 1 hour, catching, of course, Bitcoin. But then, if you look at Doge, it's still open on Doge from New Year's Day to a high of 17%. You look at SPX, same thing. It's called mad moves on SPX. Bonk has been insane, hasn't it? Bonk went all the way up to 63%, currently back down at 48% since the green background opened. Pepe is another one utterly insane. Just what a start to the year that is. Bartcoin doing the same, moving nicely. Pengu was obviously one I was looking at late last year, wasn't it? It was one that I was looking at on stream as well, and it stayed all within my box the whole time. All within this box is where we got the price action, and then from there, it's done around about a 50% move, hasn't it? Pump, another one, moving up very nicely. From where Stonksy opened there, up 22%, and then of course towards the highs around 27. But yeah, all memes have basically just had a really nice explosive start, and this was something that we covered, late last year. It would have been one of the final streams. We were looking at, obviously, what is the main performer when Bitcoin has had a downtrend and then, either moves into an uptrend or obviously consolidates first and then moves into an uptrend. And the ones that move the fastest and the hardest first are always meme coins, and we've seen it again today. Absolutely explosive pushes up from meme coins, Pepe, Doge, Bonk, Fartcoin, all the rest. If you just look at a lot of them, just really, really nice pushes up, 30, 40, 50%, some up towards 60, 70, 100, probably found 100% plus on some of them. So, yeah, it's been really, really nice. This was one, I was looking at as well last year. So, yeah, it's been really good. But, I mean, the standout ones have been Pepe and Bonk, haven't they? They've moved very similarly, very similar percentage moves as well for Pepe and Bonk. And that they are what I've seen the most strength come in so far. Florin says, Happy New Crypto Bunch. Yes, Happy New Year to you, Florin, and Happy New Year to everyone that's watching. Thank you for joining me. And do make sure you drop a big like on the stream. Please do make sure you drop a big like on the stream. I can't see on this how many likes I've got. So someone let me know how many likes we've got in the chat. But please do give me some extra few likes. It will help me out massively. Obviously, we've had a break from streaming with it being the new year. And, we will undoubtedly be in YouTube jail again. So, yeah, please do smash the likes. It'll help, getting the stream out there. Look at Mother's going as well. So, yeah, a lot of these memes having really nice pushes up. And just, overall market has been really good, hasn't it? Bitcoin up nicely. ETH. Let's see what others have done. XRP moved very nice. And just look at, this is where Stonksy really, really earns its crust in it. Obviously, to all you guys watching, probably got Stonksy. This is where Stonksy really earns his crust, is on these big, volatile, expansive moves. We've had very tight price compression, haven't we, for a while? Basically since we got the drop down in early to mid-November, we just had price contraction, volatility dry up. And now we're obviously seeing the other side is how easily price can be pushed back to the upside after something like that. But yeah, a lot of these have got really nice moves on them. And you look at these large caps as well. These large caps been moving very, very nicely too. Link doing well. Link channel favorite as always. Sui moving very nicely. AVAX moving very nicely. You can see Stonksy caught all these pushes up. Dupe pushing up nicely. Look at Render go. Render has had one of the biggest moves I've seen actually. But Render from where Stonksy came in. Yeah, that is just shy of 60%. So yeah, one of the biggest moves. Look at Dupe down at 20 cents. A lot of these must have been bashed a lot more since our last stream because I don't remember Dupe down at 20 cents. Pro 10 cents. But yeah, really nice moves on a lot of them. This thing had another scam pump, didn't it? Yeah, I need to clear out this watch list as well. I forgot to do it, to be honest. Just full of all last year's rubbish in it. Yeah, let me know. Obviously, vote on the poll. What do you think is going to happen on US Open? Do let me know. But yeah, get in the chat. Get in the chat. Let me know what have you guys been trading? Did you have a nice Christmas? Did you have a nice New Year? What have kind of you got your eye on to start this year? And of course, what are your expectations? What are your expectations for this year? That's going to be the main thing in it, is how do you want to play out this year? Now, I think what we could do is obviously make kind of like a 2026 game plan, if you will. So you can obviously say, trade Stonksy, of course, but then take advantage of the volatile moves, because why this is so important is taking advantage of the volatile moves is because we actually went back on one of the last streams of 2025 and we actually had a look of how many weeks throughout the year Bitcoin had actually been in a trend, and it turned out to only be about 11. Out of 52 weeks, it spent all but 11 just in a trading range, compact, trading throughout support and resistance, whatever range it was in. So, in them 11 weeks, they were only the 11 weeks that you got to actually trade a trend, whether it be up or down. If you want to take advantage of the volatile moves, let me know. 2026 game plan, what do you guys think? What should we put on it? Take advantage of the volatile moves. I suppose be ready for ranging. This is definitely a big one. We saw a lot of ranging in 2024, didn't we? A lot of ranging in 2025. There was a lot of ranging in 2023 as well. So I think particularly, moving into 2026, we've got 3 years of data that we can go back and look at and say, right, 2023, 2024, 2025, a lot of the year was spent in a range and we wasn't really, trending for a whole lot of it. So, you got to be ready for the ranging. You got to be ready to say, right, okay, I'm going to stop maybe hedging all, on maybe a breakout or higher prices. And instead, I'm going to be ready to take advantage of support to resistance. Yes, Happy New Year to you, Delta. Hope you're doing well, mate, and I hope you had a great New Year and Christmas. Do let me know. People still haven't let me know in the chat. Can you hear me okay? No one has let me know yet, which is concerning, but I also think probably people would have said if you couldn't hear me. But just let me know. Can you hear me loud and clear? Am I coming through okay? The setup, like I said, looks a bit different. The camera angle looks a bit different. I'm having my ceilings removed in my house today, tomorrow, and Wednesday because they are asbestos containing ceilings, and I'm just doing the renovation work now. So yeah, been renovating it for kind of the past couple of weeks, and this is kind of the last backward step, if you will. I've ripped everything out. The bathroom's gone, the kitchen's gone, the flooring's gone, the wallpaper's off the walls. It's basically all been ripped out. And this, waiting for the ceilings, obviously waiting for the guys to come off their Christmas break, was the last step. So that once the ceilings are out, I can start putting the house back together now. So the rewiring's getting done later this week once these guys are done on Wednesday, and plumbing next week for a new boiler and central heating test and flushing the radiator system out. Then ceilings going back up, then plastering, then decorating, then putting a new kitchen in, new bathroom, all that stuff. It'll come out really fast. But basically, just to obviously give you guys an idea of what's going on with the setup and stuff like that, from September until when we finished streaming in December a couple of weeks ago, I was in a nice little office building. I had my own little office in an office building. It was really nice. But I left that then because I've got the keys to my new house, and my setup is all set up in the garage now. It's a connecting garage, so nice space, which I'll eventually convert into like a proper office. But yeah, so that's where my setup is going to be. That's where obviously you're going to be doing all the streams, all the filming and everything. But obviously until these guys are done on Wednesday, can't go in the house, can't be there, stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically just a little lowdown into what's been going on with my life, and obviously what's going on with the streams and the setup and everything, and why it looks different too. Hang on, my mic's just falling over because in the midst of moving everything, I can't find where I put my my table bracket thing. Obviously I got my mic on an arm, but I can't find the thing which the mic goes into on the table where you clamp it down. So yeah, 4 likes, 5 likes. Yeah, please do drop a like. We've got 13 people watching, so it would be really, really good if we could get at least 10 likes. 13 would be ideal. 13 likes would be great, but please, give me at least 10. Smoucher says, can hear you fine. Yeah, very good. But yeah, do let me know in the chat. That's kind of obviously what's been going on in my life, the past couple of weeks, and why the setup looks a bit different. Where I am at the moment, where I'm streaming from at the moment, where I had to come and get internet from, sort of plays out is there isn't really. I mean, maybe I could put it there. I'm going to try there tomorrow, but I don't know. That's kind of looking like the best place to put the camera. And again, it's only for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. After that, we'll be back to usual. So yeah. But yeah, that's obviously what's been going on, and I'm looking forward to just getting in my new place where I put my desk and my setup and everything, and being able to create some really good content for you guys this year. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, let me know, what's been going on in your guys' life. That's basically a big lowdown on what's been going on in my life. I hope you didn't know, mate. I've not lost it, but I haven't got it with me. It's with all the other stuff back at my garage where everything else is. So unfortunately, I haven't got the bell with me, which is, I know, it's a great shame, isn't it? It's a great shame, but we'll have to make do with something else until Friday's stream. Yeah, let me know what's been going on in your guys' life. That's a lowdown on what's been going on in my life. Kind of in the weeks before Christmas, then obviously throughout Christmas and New Year period up until now. What's been going on in your guys' life? Anything good? Anything interesting? But yeah, let me know in the chat. What should we put on our kind of 2026 game plan? Trade with Stonksy. Take advantage of the volatile moves. Be ready for ranging. What can we do? What else should we put on here? What else do we think? I think this is always a good one, isn't it? Obviously for a lot of you guys that trade using Stonksy, obviously you'll have a good helping hand with this, but I think for something like this, take profits when you're happy. When you're happy with your profit, you don't have to hold on to a trade, even whether it be a perps trade or a spot trade. Take your profits when you're happy. If you're happy with the money that it's got, or you're happy with the unrealized P&L, don't be scared to take the profit. It's fine. There's always another trade, isn't there? There's always another time, and especially if you look back at 2025, 2024, the amount of times that especially on the spot side, you could have sold and then rebought lower, and then sold the bounce and then rebought lower, or just kind of ping-ponged it. There'll always be another trade. There'll always be another entry. So, yeah, I think that's a good one to obviously ring around. Is don't be scared to take profits when you want to. What else could we do? Lose the bias. I think this is a good one for people because obviously naturally, unless you are just a strict trader, not investor, you just trade the market, you don't invest, whatever, you can obviously just have a natural bias to upside and bullish, can't you? Because obviously you're holding spot bags and you want them to go up and sell them higher, whatever. But in terms of obviously being open to the direction that Bitcoin's going to and where it may go next, especially if if Stonksy's showing you something, or if you think it's losing a key level or whatever, don't be afraid to play the downside as much as the upside. I think a lot of people have trouble shorting, don't they? Which is obviously where Stonksy can come into its own too. But don't be marrying the fact that we have to go insanely up this year you know, if we're going to have a period of down like we got from November, you know, we're starting November to kind of mid to late November, then, you know, there's a lot of money to be made there on the short side, isn't there? And if you obviously just bullish bias and refuse to change the bias, then, you know, you leave a lot of positions on the table. Where's your hat? I didn't know you had hair. Oh, do you know what? I knew I was missing something. You know what? I knew I was missing something today, and I couldn't think of what it was. Yeah, the hat, mate. I completely forgot about the hat. I'll try to get the hat for tomorrow. Don't marry positions. Yeah, I think that's, you know, that's a good one. In, you know, taking profits when happy and also losing the bias, isn't it? Mate, you must be thrilled with what Pepe's done now. You must be thrilled at the run that Pepe's been on. Hello, mate. We got Wiz in the house. Big up, Wiz. Big up, Wiz. But yeah, obviously, just to cover, I think we've had maybe a few people jump in. James, Wiz jumped in. Obviously, just to run through with what's happening with the streams. Obviously, you can see it looks a lot different. The camera angle's different. Maybe you notice something else that's different. I'm in a different streaming spot today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, while I get my ceilings removed in my house. And then I will be then in a new setup. So I'm not in the office anymore, out of there, in my new setup, in the garage. But yeah, can't be in the house while they are doing their work and removing the asbestos containing ceilings. So I am in a different streaming spot today. I've kindly come to my mother's house and using my old desk in my bedroom, you know, mate. You know what's funny? Is a lot of you people obviously won't know this, but where I am right now and using this desk is what I watched basically the FTX downfall happen on. I was sat at this desk watching it happen. This is where I watched the 2023 revival from, you know, from 16K up to like 25K at first, wasn't it? And then back down to 19K and then back up towards 30K. This desk is where I watched it all happen, and obviously where it all happened. So it's good to be back. You know, it's good to be back. And yeah, I'm making use of the internet today, tomorrow, and Wednesday while while the ceilings get removed in my house. So yeah, Wiz says listen to Wizards. It's always a good idea, that, mate, and it's always a good idea. I could do with just moving my camera a little bit along now, just so you can see me just a little bit better. Yeah, that's better. Have you found your old copies of Nut and Max Power yet? Mate, I'm not that old. I'm not that old. I was more Page 3 and Zoo magazine, I think it was. But yeah, I think that, you know, these are some potentially good rules to abide by in 2026. You know, obviously trading with Stonksy, take advantage of the volatile moves when we get it. You know, we looked, didn't we, at one of the last streams last year. We looked at what Bitcoin had actually done in 2025, and it only actually spent 11 weeks out of the whole year in a trend. So, you know, it spent 11 weeks, whether it be going up or down in a trend. And then the rest of the time it was spent in a range, whether that be a small range or a bigger range. It had been consolidating and ranging for basically 4/5 of the year. Basically 4/5 of the year. So, you know, you've got to take advantage of the volatility when it comes, and especially when Bitcoin goes into a trend. But then also, you know, be ready for ranging. 2023, 2024, 2025, a lot of the year was spent in a range. We've got 3 years of data there for us to look at and say, right, you know, Bitcoin is prone spending a lot of its time in a range. We've got to be ready for when Bitcoin simply goes support, resistance, maybe create some little ranges in a bigger range, whatever, and goes into a phase of consolidation. Take profits when happy. You know, Bobby put it in the chat as well. You know, don't marry bags. You know, if you're happy with profit, whether it be on a perp trade or a spot trade, you know, there's always another trade, there's always another entry, a spot. You know, take it off the table if you're happy, and lose the bias. Yeah, you know, don't be marrying upside. If you think Stonksy saying Bitcoin's going to go down, and you know, you follow it. Maybe check your bias. You know, maybe check it with other things. Yeah. that's kind of what we're looking at for 2026. If you want me to add anything on, do let me know. That's why you need to tune into Dave every stream. Yeah. Make sure you all are tuning in. It's going to be a big year. What am I expecting this year? I think you can undoubtedly say at some point this year we'll get a big Bitcoin move. You go back and it's kind of just inevitable if you look at history, isn't it? If you look at history and the history of Bitcoin, while it can spend a lot of time ranging and doing nothing, at some point throughout the year it'll give you 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 big moves for you to take advantage of. So, undoubtedly, I think whatever lies ahead this year, whether it be, major upside, whether it be more downside, whatever it is, I think there's going to be a big move for at least one. That's conservative to say, isn't it? Hopefully, the more the better. Hopefully we can get 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe. Hopefully this year isn't spent ranging as much as it has done the last couple of years. And I'm looking forward to, obviously seeing what's going on in terms of the cycle. I think, the cycle discussion is fascinating because if we go to a new all-time high this year, you can say the cycle's broken because, we've completely just blitzed basically all kind of credibility from previous cycles around the halving. If we don't go to a new high this year, then it's really interesting because the 4-year cycle is intact because we topped out, didn't we, in October, which time frame wise was very similar to previous cycles. But at the moment, the 4-year cycle is intact. We kind of topped out around the same time as previous cycles, and after the halving, we fell off a lot. And really, the only way that we break the 4-year cycle from here is if we get a new all-time high, which obviously just completely shatters, previous cycle patterns. Until then, we're kind of stuck in the cycle theory that, Bitcoin may have topped, and then, we're either in a corrective phase now, or, maybe we're going to come into kind of a complacency bounce, potentially before more down. Who knows? That'll be really interesting as well because, obviously come the end of this year, we'll know, is cycle theory still intact, or can we kind of say, right, we're kind of on a new paradigm? Paradigm? That's the word, isn't it? New paradigm. So that's going to be really interesting this year as well. But Tantana says, good morning. Yes, Tantana, mate. I've not seen you in ages. We've got 16 in, which is great to have a first stream back. So please do drop a big like on the stream. It will be really, really beneficial. Please do get as many likes on the stream as possible. Show some nice New Year joy to me as well. Wiz says, covered in CSV video, but Feb and March are massive. So do make sure you go and check out that video. Has it gone up today, mate? Or are you editing it? Maybe it's edited. I don't know. If you've covered it, mate, do let me know, and I'll obviously go and pull it up. But yeah, February and March, the Wiz says they are going to be massive. Of course, we got all this stuff with the US, haven't we now, with Trump as well, last week. So do go onto the CSE channel. Obviously, just type in Crypto Saving Expert on YouTube and you'll be able to get it there. But yeah, obviously, got all this stuff with Trump as well, haven't we? And, what's happened with them going into Venezuela. Are they going to do more countries? Who are they going to do next? Today's is my oil action plan. Yeah, what is oil doing today, actually? After that on the weekend. Yeah, there you go. This is actually up slightly. Now, I'm not too sure. I'm not obviously too familiar with the whole thing, but I don't know. Obviously, Venezuela has the largest oil reserves in the world, doesn't it? I think dollar value, it's in the trillions, if tens of trillions. I saw someone saying that it's not actually crude oil that they hold. I don't know. I don't know how correct that is. I don't know whether he was actually talking truth or not. But if you actually look at metals again. Obviously these had a sell-off, didn't they? By the looks of it, copper's still going. Palladium had a sell-off after coming up towards 2K. Gold all that was a very look at the volatility on that. So from Monday the 29th to Wednesday, it went down 24%. That's massive volatility. Smaller metals seem to be like altcoins. Platinum, that had a correction as well, didn't it? Let's go see what gold and silver are doing today. Gold is up 2%. Yeah, so they all follow just gold's corrector phase, didn't they? Silver trying to make its way back up as well after obviously having this blow off top. Yeah, really interesting. It's the stocks which are booming. SLB, BKR, HAL. It's really heavy oil that requires speciality and trades at a discount. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it wasn't crude. It was a cheaper kind of oil, isn't it? I'm just looking to take profit on a great Micron trade. What did I do? I don't know. Micron. Huh? Oh, this. MU. Maybe Wizards heard of this. You're looking to take profit on this, are you? Well done, Delta. Bloody hell, look at that. Where did you enter? Look at this thing. Bloody hell. This thing is about 2.5x in September. Look at that. Look at that. Very nice, mate. Very nice. I expect nothing less from you, Delta. I expect nothing less from you. Yeah, 2026 game plan. I think, yeah, some good things on there. And, we'll obviously just see what happens, won't we? Wiz loves Micron. He's holding his. Good morning, John. How are we doing, mate? It's great to see everyone. It's great to see everyone. Hope everyone had a good break. Hope you had a good Christmas. Hope you had a good New Year. And I hope you're ready for a big year in what should be a big year for trading. So we should get some really good moves this year. We should have some really good opportunities. Whether that be, Bitcoin in a trend, in a range, spikes in volatility, flash crashes, new all-time highs, black swan maybe, who knows. It's all going to be a great year of trading. And, of course, hopefully, a good year for altcoins as well. That's obviously what most of us are crying out for, isn't it? A good year of altcoins. So again, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I think it should be a great year. It should be a great year. And Bitcoin has just started the year as it started 2023, 2024, 2025 with upwards straight away after New Year's. So that's good as well. Yeah, I'm just going to go to the toilet, so don't go anywhere. Do make sure you drop a like on the video. Make sure you vote in the poll. And don't go anywhere because I'm going to be back. Obviously, we've got US Open coming at us in around about 20 minutes, so that should be great. And yeah, it's great to be back streaming. So yeah, do stay around. Join me for the whole stream. And there's plenty to discuss. If you do have any questions, any thoughts, whatever, get it into the chat and we'll cover that. But yeah, it's great to be back streaming. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this year. So get excited. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Right, I'm back. We're back. Delta says you got your TP at 329. Hey, that thing is on. That thing is on a ripper, isn't it? Oh, do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to plug in a charger. That's a good thing I realised that. We do not want my MacBook going off midstream, do we? That's definitely what we don't want. I'm gonna have to get on the floor. Plug this in. Ow. There we go. Honestly, this stream for if anyone's watching for the first time, the streams aren't normally this disorganized and chaotic. Once I'm back at my actual setup after Wednesday, so it'll be obviously a stream here on Wednesday. They don't do a stream on Thursday to do a video. It'll be Friday stream. Honestly, it'll be completely different to obviously to what you're witnessing at the moment. But yeah, it's good to be back. It's really good to be back. Oh, got only 9 people, so a few people dropped off when I went to the toilet, didn't they? What's going on the poll? We'll end that poll now. End poll. There we go. Yeah, I think you can't really. I think for the start of a year, you can't really ask for much more, can you, than what we've had? You know, we've had 5 days of up, which obviously, as we know, we looked at before. The last time we got 5 green candles in a row on the daily was when we had the run to all-time high here. You know, that was the last time. You can't really complain. You know, it's a good solid thing here. What we want is obviously this not to be kind of a liquidity grab or just a play towards the range high. What we want is obviously a push at least towards kind of 97 to come and grab these wicks here. And then maybe we go into a corrective phase. And I think if you mark out this on the, on here, I think what would make sense. Oh, Stonksy. What would make sense to me in terms of looking at the chart, if I was to look at it and go, right, what would make sense in terms of a pathway here? What would make sense is a push up to here. I think above here, when you get to this point, people get really, really bullish and you get a lot of late longs coming in when we're above this high here. So I'll just mark that out because that's going to be a crucial place to monitor if we do clear that on the daily. You get a push up to there, you clear that out. People that haven't longed from down here or longed on the way up, you would imagine obviously FOMO into there. Then we clear that liquidity. We then pull back, maybe come for an SR test here somewhere. Put in an SR test of this range. Again, this is ideally, this is talking like you have a clean sweep of liquidity. You come back for a clean SR test to give you to give you another chance to re-long or add to your long or open new long, whatever. You get an SR test there, and then you then make a run towards 108, which then obviously would be the high time frame SR test and obviously the key points. That is in an ideal world. You look at that, you look at the chart, and you say, right, let's go and clear out all this liquidity. You clear out these highs, you finally come and clear these. People then obviously get caught offside, trying to long when Bitcoin's already done like a 10% move, 15% move, whatever it would be. You then get a pull back into here, SR test on the daily, hold that, obviously in an ideal world, and then you then begin the road towards kind of 107, 108. That to me would be what I would call ideal. Again, whether we get that or not, obviously we have no idea and remains to be seen. But in a perfect world, that's what we'd get. So, yeah, we will. We'll definitely have to see about that, but I think it's possible. Time frame wise, how long does something like that take? We know Bitcoin. Who knows? It could be like this, couldn't it? It could be like this. You could just get like one big, fast, strong move. Expansion here, bang, back down, and all this would be, pull back into there would basically be like these. When you get obviously the drops, then you get a bounce up. That's all that would be. It would just be a correction back down, and then obviously continuing on. So in an ideal world, that would be the path that it would take. Or, you know, obviously an SR tested here, holding, and then obviously then looking towards up here. And again, you know, whether we get it or not, on how long it would take, all depends on obviously Bitcoin. It could happen really fast. It could happen, you know, that we could get the first half happen fast, and then the second half happen slow. We could stick around in this range here, maybe, you know, test an SR, maybe dip a bit below, and then come back up. There's so many theories for what could happen, but I think in essence of the direction, that would be what is ideal. So yeah, and we'll keep an eye out for that. So keep an eye out for that. It'd be obviously great to see this red background close out at some point as well. Obviously, this is on the daily. This closing out would really give us a nice look at, okay, you know, maybe we are getting some really good momentum shift on the daily now. I don't know what the 4 hours doing. Let's see what the 4 hours doing. The 4 hour has gone back green. Obviously, we had it go green when we was messing around in this range, didn't we? The 4 hour has gone green again, and obviously looking at Bitcoin and its potential expansion, this may be a really good marker as well. Of course, the 1 hour being green, so we just want that daily now to at least close the red, even if we don't get a green daily. Just closing the red would be a really good sign as well. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that. We've got US Open coming at us in just over 8 minutes time. And yeah, it should be really interesting. Let's see what are these doing. So Nvidia pre-market 192, so that's up nicely. Nvidia looks like probably it's going to go and run for these highs, doesn't it? That's what it looks like. Apple barely moved. Meta basically bang on where it closed. Microsoft is up slightly. Amazon up slightly. Tesla up slightly. And Google up ever so slightly. That's what they're doing. What about some miners? BitD is down there. Well, need to add some more of the miners on. This thing has had a good bounce. Metaplanet Metaplanet is one as well, you know, where it looks like this could get a good bounce soon, especially if Bitcoin's going to make a push. You know, this could get a really good bounce. Get me? Again, this thing, you know, kind of double bottom. Maybe running into the earnings in February, who knows? I mean, I don't think they've got massive revenue anyway, have they? It's quite small. Yeah, so it's very small revenue. Tron. Oh, Wiz, look. I don't know if Wiz is still here or not, but Tron finally filled the gap. And is bouncing. The Tron stock finally filled the gap. Wow. UPXI. What is Bitman doing? Weeble. God, Weeble. This was a good one, wasn't it? Mid last year, Weeble. That was a really good one mid last year. Core Weave there. Yeah. Again, you know, some of these are doing really good things. Yeah, let's see. So we got 7 minutes to go. Let me know in the chat. Would you like me to cover anything specific? Anyone got anything you want to say specifically? Do just let me know. I can't wait for Chippy to get listed so we can analyze it on trade. Oh, mate, that'd be mega. That would be mega, wouldn't it? That would be good. I think actually, just let me stop this a second. Let me just pull open a new window. I think Chippy has had a little pump on it. Let's see. Yes, it has. Let me go and open it up. Yes, Chippy has had a little pump on throughout the start of the year as well, kind of in line with everything else. You know, start of January it was around 800k market cap, went all the way up to kind of 1.1, back down towards a mil market cap. So this has been moving as well. Let's see, one day on the daily. And again, you know, yeah, little compact range there. Nice little compact range. So yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, it'd be good if we could eventually pull that up on TradingView. And you know, you can see Chippy. So I was gonna say, I'm surprised that TradingView hasn't either partnered with, someone like Dextrina, Dex Tools, or just kind of launched their own maybe section in TradingView to look at Dex chart. I know you can look at some, can't you? Like this one in it. Oh, sorry, no, that's not it. That's Chippy the dog. Fish and chips, that's all. Is that it? See, that's not it. That may be it. I think that's it against Sol, in it, like directly against Sol. So that's not like based on its actual like dollar price. I think that's it just actually against Sol, yeah. So this one here, even though this is obviously Chippy Sol, you can read this in terms of market cap, can't you? So, for instance, obviously, like, currently it's at 0.1, so that translates to 1 million based on obviously how the tokenomics of Pump Fun graduate tokens work based on the price and then the market cap. So if it's at 0.8, 0.08, that's 800k. If it's at 1.1, that's 1.1 million market cap. You can kind of translate it, can't you, into market cap, so you know roughly where it's at in your head. Whereas obviously if you pull this up, this is directly against Sol. So it's a completely different scale in terms of obviously how it's measured when you look at Dextrina. But it is on there. Yeah, it is on there. It's just obviously a completely different way of looking at the chart. Yeah, we've got 3 minutes to go until US Open. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. The S&P had a sell off on Friday, didn't it? And then climbed all the way back up. And again, where could this go? Where could this go this year? Where could the Nasdaq go? It'd be fascinating to see. Can we get another big run in the stock market? Yeah, I'm looking forward to it all. And of course, make sure come and give some love to the Stonksy X. Make sure you come and give some interaction on there if you see me tweet on it as well or whatever. But yeah, it should be really good. Now I don't know what we've got coming in terms of this week for data. I assume we've probably got a potential backlog maybe. We'll pull it up quickly. Let's go and have a look. Hang on. What I need to do is just open a fresh tab in case I want to pull something up. What will be good is I will have the once I get back in my garage on Friday, that will be when I've obviously got my dual screens. Let's go and have a look at what we've got coming this week. This week, apply, and then filter, clear, US, tick, apply filter. So we've got ISM actually in half an hour at 3 o'clock. Then Wednesday, we've got ADP employment change and ISM services PMI. Then Friday, obviously got our average hourly earnings and you've got the Michigan sentiment index. But the big one is obviously NFP, and that will be the big one this week. On-farm payrolls on Friday. So Friday's stream should be really good with obviously that wedge right in the middle. So looking forward to that. The S&P is pushing up and going into open as well. Got 1 minute to go. Let's go and launch the 5-minute chart. And let's see obviously what we can get. I don't have my bell with me as well, unfortunately. I haven't got my bell with me, so we'll have to kind of make our own little sound, which should go down like a lead balloon. Ready? Ding a ding a ding a ding. Ding a ding a ding 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 ding. There you go. My attempt of giving you a bell sound. Well, I don't have the bell. Crazy Frog. Yeah. Oh, wow. Memory unlocked. Mate, memory unlocked. I remember when I got my first ever phone, flip phone. And do you remember you could, like, there was a big phase, wasn't there, of obviously, when phones were kind of going mainstream and you had all the flip phones and the slidey up phones of Bluetoothing things, whether it be music or like the GIFs, which obviously we would now know as memes. But obviously the Crazy Frog one was one of the tunes, wasn't it? Like people had as the ringtone. Oh mate, do you remember the like the little clips that you Bluetooth like other people and your mates and stuff of it? What the Angry Kid videos, the little animations and stuff like that. Oh, mate, what a time to be alive! Honestly, I think kind of like the noughties just all the way through was like kind of peak time. I just think that was peak time. A lot of people will say like the 80s or the 90s or whatever, but I think like just the noughties all the way through was just like kind of just peak. I suppose if you've lived all through it and you were like old enough to have lived it all through it as like a teenager slash adult, I suppose you'd have like a really good way to comment on it. I can't because obviously I wasn't a grown up or anything in the 80s, but I just think like you think about especially like that first half of the noughties, like around 2005, give or take a couple years. Like what a time to be alive! I remember that. Wiz, do you have a target price for Micron? Um, Mate, just remember as well, though. Remember as well is when you're happy with the money, remember to obviously, to take money off the table. That thing is in a serious, serious uptrend. Like Wiz says, anything that a lot of things that Wiz touch are like gold dust, aren't they? They perform really, really well. But also, on your personal side, remember, if you've made good money on it and stuff like that, remember, obviously, pay yourself. Of course, not financial advice, but remember Delta. It's also it's about who's the captain of your ship. It's you. Obviously, Wiz provides some absolutely fantastic guidance, doesn't he? Around stocks and crypto. But also remember, at the end of the day, it's only you that can press the green and red buttons. But yeah, the start of US Open, we've not got much movement. We've not had a whole lot of up or down. The S&P itself is just ripping up nicely. That's a great, nice 5-minute candle that in it. Went and tagged just above 6903 we got to. So yeah, the S&P is ripping nicely. Come on, Bitcoin, turn around. We want to turn around on Bitcoin, don't we now? Yeah, really, really nice. Really nice. Start to the year. Let's see, what have we got going on news-wise as well? Of course, you can find great news articles on the CSD website. Bitcoin nears 93k as Trump's Latin America threat stoke geopolitical uncertainty. You'll see a lot around this. It's going to be obviously like this time last year. We hadn't had Trump in office, had we? He was just coming into the point of kind of mid-January when he was getting back in office, and then of course all the tariff talk started. This year kind of seems like it's going to be all about who is the US potentially going to invade next. Obviously, retaliation from other countries in terms of them saying it's wrong or what other countries might do. But he floats Colombia and Mexico action. Accused Colombia of fueling cocaine trafficking into the US and said a military-focused operation targeting the country sounds good to me. Colombia is very sick too. Colombia is a sick man who likes making cocaine and selling it to the United States, Trump said. So that should be interesting. Bloody hell. Greenland still on Trump's radar. Trump reiterated that Greenland remains strategically vital to US national security. He seems like he's just on a rampage, isn't he? I think Trump, kind of he knows, what is the likelihood of him running for a third term? Potentially not that likely. So he's got another, are they in for 4 years or 5 years? I think they're in for 5 years in the US, aren't they? The 5-year term, is it? I think. Or was it 4 years? I can't even remember. But anyway, he's only got a couple more years, so he's probably thinking, if I want to do anything, do it now. So you're just seeing like the US just completely just turn into an absolute steamroll superpower and just going, right, we'll go take this, we'll take that, we'll do this, we'll do that. Crypto fear and greed index returns to neutral. So yeah, that's good. That will obviously drop all the way down, didn't it? Deep into extreme fear, but yeah, that's returned to neutral, which is good. Bitcoin's dropping down, getting some drop off in the first 6 minutes of US Open. Do remember, drop a big like on the stream. Please do give me a big like because it will help us get back in the good YouTube algorithm. And gonna have some really good content coming this year. Obviously, streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, videos Tuesdays and Thursdays. Of course, the setup will be back to normal on Friday's stream. I'll have a normal camera angle. So yeah, should be really good. It's going to be a fantastic year for content. And it's going to be a really good year for me doing my streams as well. But anyone that wants to, let me know if anyone is interested in kind of following along my house renovation, because I actually have started posting some TikToks. So let me know in the chat. Is anyone actually willing? Is anyone interested in following along? If you are, let me know, and I'll drop my TikTok username in the chat, and you can go and follow along. I've done a video this morning on obviously the asbestos removal, kind of like the pre look to it. So yeah, do let me know. It'd be good to see, have some of your guys' support over there. Oh, look at Bitcoin now. Bitcoin coming back. That with a vengeance as well on the low time frame. Look at that! What a move back up. We did have a sell off on Bitcoin, on US Open. Wow, the S&P was rallying, and we've just had a complete U-turn and a complete blowout of any low time frame shorts that were trying to short US Open there. Complete bang! Look at that. Went all the way down to 92.4 and back up to 92.9 basically within just a couple of minutes. So that was really good. Yeah, this week got some data in just over 20 minutes time, and then of course the big one on Friday, NFP. So do prepare yourself for that. Look at the Micron chart. Let's see, mate. Let's see. Remember, mate. Remember. Oh, look at that. What did you do, sell? What did you do, sell? That one was that was up nicely, weren't it? That was up nicely. What did Delta just sell and just nuke the chart? Let's see. Yeah, I mean this thing. Just look at the uptrend on it though. It's done not a 4x. Sorry, it's done almost a 3x since the start of September, hasn't it? It's good returns. It's good returns. And again, how high could it go? I don't know. Is this historical prices or is this revisiting older levels? It looks historical price. I mean, look at that. Mad, isn't it? Some of these stocks, if you held on to that, that's nearly probably, if you zoom in, maybe it went down to kind of $3. 100x if you held on for 13 years, which a lot of people probably did. Obviously, there's the .com bubble all the way back down. So, I mean, 100x we think that is like probably not good for 13 years. But if you're a if you're a kind of boomer or a traditional investor, the idea of getting 100x over 13 years is really good. We kind of just have had our minds warped by crypto, haven't we, to believing that 100x over 13 years isn't that good. Missed it, but holding for my price target. Good on you, mate. Good on you. I wish you the best of luck. I wish you the best of luck. I think hopefully you get out what you want, mate. But Bitcoin's nearly back to 93k now. So come on, Bitcoin. Yeah, let me know in the chat. Has anyone got anything they want me to look at? Any comments? Anything you want to ask? Do let me know in the chat, and I will take a look. And we'll just kind of work through whatever it is you want me to look at. Right, what should we look at next? What should we look at next? Oh, I don't know what happened there, my camera. Throw that back on. I'll tell you what we haven't looked at is, well, there's a few things actually for us to look at in this department. I haven't looked at January yet. What does January hold for Bitcoin historically? Look at that. What a strange run. So from 2015 to 2019, January was always red. 2017 was borderline, wasn't it? But apart from that, there were some big hits in January. And 2020, 2021 was good. 2022 seen a big hit. But then 2023 was good. 2024 was, again, borderline, basically neutral, wasn't it? 2025, 10% good. So from 2020 onwards, January is typically good. We've started it off well. You know, consider we're already 5.79% up in January. So it's good historically. You know, over the past kind of 5 years, 6 years, 6 years, 2020 to 2025. The odds there are good. You know, we've had 5 green years and then 1 red. So the odds there are good. But that was a mad streak, that. And then obviously February as well. Historically, a very good month. But last year we did have a red month. Obviously driven by, obviously the tariff, the start of the tariff uncertainty and the kind of fall off of momentum in the crypto market itself. But yeah, quite an interesting period. And, again, kind of like 2020 when you look at March there as well, in Bitcoin's early years, really bad month. But then over the past couple of years has been a really good month. So January, February, March look like, they could, if they keep to the historical performance over the past, 5-6 years, they could be in for a good time. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. And then if you look at Q1, what does Q1 typically hold? Bit of an interesting bag. I mean, if you go from 2020 onwards, minus 10%, then plus 103, minus 1. So again, basically just from the start of January to the end of March, basically just kind of goes nowhere. Might have some big price swings in between, but from the actual first day of the year to the end of March, it basically went nowhere. 2023 plus 71%, really good. 2024 plus 68, really good. 2025 minus 11. And again, on Bitcoin, that's not really that much, is it? Minus 11%. Again, the price swings in that, you remember last year were really big, but not really that bad. And then, of course, let's start it off with plus 5.75. Let's see, can we pull up the heat map? liquidation heat map. Oh, let's see what we're looking like. We've got a nice juicy bit there, basically up to 94k on the 24-hour time frame. So 94k, keep an eye on that. That actually should basically tie Bitcoin into coming clearing them other daily highs as well, if I'd be right about. No, it'd have to go a bit higher. But it would come and clear out that one. It'd have to go a bit high to clear out them. But it's not too far away anyway. We're getting some nice upside action here. Getting some nice upside movement. The 3-day isn't loading. It's the 1 week loading. Yeah, the 1 week's loading. So again, this hotspot here, just because it's yellow doesn't mean it's going to be cleared out. That's obviously just showing that, that's obviously where the price starts to begin pushed up from. So there's obviously going to be big liquidity there. But it doesn't mean that we're going to go back for it. We may do, but it doesn't mean that we have to just because it's yellow. At some point, obviously, in a move, you have to leave liquidity behind. I don't think the 2 week loads at the moment. I don't know what the deal with that is. And then, of course, on the 1 month again, just because these are yellow doesn't mean that we're going to go for them. On the 1 month time frame, we've not really got any other hotspots that we can look to in terms of just the heat map. Of course, on the chart, we know 108k is going to be a huge level, and there it is. If you look at the 3 month time frame, what did I just say? 108k key level. There's the hotspot for 108. So 108 looks, when you look at the chart, technically, structurally, and then of course you're looking at the heat map now, and that's just bang on exactly where we looked at. 108k looks like the kind of higher time frame target for Bitcoin, and it may take a couple of weeks, it may take a month, it may take the whole of Q1, but 108k definitely looks like the area of interest and the area of this being maybe a recovery bounce, or maybe on something more bullish if we can regain it. Yeah, that's what we're looking like anyway on Bitcoin. Good push up, really good start to the US Open, and yeah, we're pushing up nicely on the S&P as well, which is good. So all in all, nice start. Nice start. But yeah, what we're going to get next? I think something key to remember is, we are basically at daily resistance now, which is obviously a key thing to remember. While obviously this has been a really good run so far, resistance is resistance until proven otherwise, isn't it? That's the thing you've got to remember, and the thing that we all need to remember is, this has been a great couple of days since the start of the year, but we are at, find it there, this is where we find daily resistance in and around here. And again, you can see these wicks were basically just short-lived on the day. Bitcoin closed below there and in and around it. So, this is where we want to watch. If Bitcoin can get a daily close of kind of in at like 94k plus, obviously the higher the better. If we could close towards 95, that would obviously be better. But particularly, 94k would be the highest daily close since mid-November. So it wouldn't be anything to be lacking at all. It would be a really good thing. But yeah, for sure, definitely something to keep an eye on. But yeah, we definitely need to break out of this. Just zoom out, especially if you haven't already been long. If you haven't already been long, you haven't been following Stonksy, or you've just not been long in general. Zoom out, because obviously when you come out to the daily, in my opinion, it's obviously not financial advice, but you look at the chart and we're at resistance. This isn't the point where you want to get long if you're looking at the chart, because we're right at resistance. You either want to wait for a confirmed breakout, which obviously then gives you good invalidation, gives you a good point of invalidation, because obviously, we break back below, then, it's obviously looking like we're then back below resistance, and then we could look for downside. and then obviously we break out and you can start looking for up. But at the moment, we are basically bang on daily resistance, so it's a really tricky point if you're not already in positions. I'd be interested to hear in chat, what is everyone at? Are you guys already long? You already got positions in? Are you looking to maybe re-enter on a pullback? Are you maybe looking to long breakout? Do let me know, because I'd be really interested to hear what you guys are doing. And of course, make sure if you're in the Stonksy Discord, make sure you jump in. But yeah, do let me know in the chat. What are we up to? Yeah, Bitcoin's pushing nicely. Back up to 11 viewers as well. Please do make sure you drop a like. Honestly, it will help me massively as we get back into our streaming routine and get back to obviously trying to get back in the YouTube algorithm. It will really help. So yeah, please do drop a like. Thank you in advance. ETH Bitcoin obviously taking a plunge, which you would expect because Bitcoin is being the leader in the market. Hype down 26. What's Hype done recently? Let's see. It's not actually moved up that much, has it? Obviously had this on the 19th. Pushed up the last couple of days. But in the grand scheme of things, yeah, Hype. A bit unsure on it. Um, 93.5 now, yes. Really pushing up on Bitcoin, aren't we? Really pushing up on Bitcoin. And especially, if you look at these as well, Sol, obviously, we know Stonksy's long on the hourly. If you look on the daily, this has been a very easy thing to identify. In past couple of days, we just had a clear regain of support, haven't we? This was support. We lost it, then resistance for long here, regained it, obviously in a big push through there. But then that opens, just standard look for again, just moving towards daily resistance, which is up towards 145. And we looked at this on stream, obviously before the Christmas break, obviously when Sol was down here. It's looking really good for now anyway. So far, so good on Sol. Same for ETH. Let's have a look at ETH. Yeah, I mean ETH is one in it where you look at it and you think, surely this is due a mega pump at some point. Bitmain keeps buying. They've bought up a lot of the supply, so that's obviously taken a lot of ETH out of sellers' hands. ETH's one where you look at it and it's like, it's not even had a proper breakout yet. It's fell off quite a lot, obviously, from its high. So ETH's one where you think at some point this year, it had its time in obviously last year it had its time, didn't it? When it started moving up on its own. Did it have its time in 2024? I know it went up towards 4K. You got to think it's got to be East time at some point. But yeah, a lot of these Stonksy is long on them on the hourly, which is obviously really good. But yeah, I think just in general, it should hopefully be really good timing. I think January as well, heading into the Fed meeting. Remember we got a Fed meeting at the end of this month, which is on the 28th. That should be good. So the S&P, yeah, on the hourly, really nice hourly candle. Bitcoin, nice hourly candle. But this is actually, this is Bitcoin's highest price, isn't it? I've only just realised this is Bitcoin's highest price since when was the last time Bitcoin was up here? In a good long while, isn't it? Since kind of like early stages to mid stages of December. Yeah, basically that's it. I mean, let's have a little rundown. Obviously, stocks, Mag 7, some are negative, but Meta up 1.24, Amazon up 1.8, Tesla up 3, Nvidia up 0.6. So Mag 7 performing nicely. Over in crypto, you got MSCR up 6.5%. That is really rallying. Coinbase up 7.6, Circle up 4, Gemmy up 7. Obviously, mining stocks up as well. And then, of course, Bitcoin up nicely, 2.2% on the day, reaching new local highs. Nearly month, near the highest point in nearly a month. Sol up 1%. So you can see altcoins have kind of taken a little bit of a backseat. Obviously, they had a nice push up initially when Bitcoin started its push up. But while Bitcoin's taking over, these are taking a bit more of a backseat while obviously Bitcoin gets going. And then we should see obviously the rotation into them performance wise. But yeah, all in all, great start to 2026. Good stream back. Great to be back. Do make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you, of course, can join Stonksy. Links in the description. If you're not, it will be a really good year for trading, volatility wise, and in a range. And yeah, obviously, it's going to be a good year for content. So we'll be putting some really good stuff together for you guys. And it's an honour to obviously be back spending my time with you. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the next stream. Tomorrow I'll have a video out, so do make sure you have a look out for that. Either put the notification bell on, or obviously keep a lookout on the X or the Discord. And I'll see you guys then. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully you've made some money on this uptrend in the market initially. And we'll see obviously what the rest of the month and year is going to bring. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.